Hey guys, it's Lynn with Fidget DIYs, and today is part 2 of my coastal series. I hope you enjoy. Let's fidget. I'm going to start off with a wreath form and a piece of floral foam. I'm going to get that locked in pretty good, and from there I'm going to start shaving down some of the stuff I know is going to stick out the sides. And I wound up cutting it a couple of times. And here I am dry placing the driftwood pieces, just kind of seeing how I want the layout to be. I hot glued the main driftwood stick onto the wreath form, and just to make sure that that is going to stay on there, I tried some stir sticks. I was going to attach it like that, but I decided against the stir sticks and went with some hot glue and masking tape, and that held really well. After that, I dry fit another couple of things here and there, and I am using the hot glue wood glue sticks, so it holds really well. I recommend you guys getting some. You can find it at Harbor Freight. You can find it at pretty much any of the hobby shops around. And then after I get that placed, I'm going to put the shell on top of the styrofoam and glue those things down as best I can. And I keep flipping it over and adding glue in places that it needs it. And I don't show you guys, but at the very end of all of this, when it's said and done, I use super glue on certain parts. And here's a styrofoam ball that I squeeze onto the first shell and the wreath form to attach this smaller shell to make sure it wouldn't go anywhere. And again, here I am gluing some of the stuff in the back. This thing is held together with hot glue and prayers, you guys. And here, after I make sure that all of the glue is everywhere it needs to be, and you can't see the glue poking out or anything, so it's, just to make sure that the thing holds together, guys. Most of the picks that I chose to use with this piece went right down into the floral foam that I had placed in the different spots on the back there. I added a bunch of hot glue right there, and I melted the grass. So if you guys recreate this, or if you do something similar, I would recommend putting your hot glue gun on low. I added a galvanized word. It says blessed. And I went through with my Cricut tool and got the glue that I could see and picked all of that off. And here it is. I hope you guys like this one. Put in the comments what you think about it. What you would have done differently if you'd have placed something somewhere different. I like how it turned out. I was pleasantly surprised. This was my inspiration for the next piece. This is a piece at Wayfair, and it's inspired me to do this one. Who knew driftwood was so expensive? So I obtained some driftwood from my beach, and I connected two of my favorite pieces together here. And I tried like a shell. I tried some grasses. I tried all kinds of stuff on there to see if I liked it. I wound up settling on the mercury glass candle holders you see right there, with white candles in it though. Here I am adding an extra piece to balance that candle holder on the piece. Now all of the pieces are stuck together, and out of all the things I tried, I decided on beach grass that we had found by the beach as well. So I stuck that down into the side, attached that, and put the candle holders on top. And here it is, guys. I'm sorry it's vertical like that. I didn't film it right. But I thought this turned out pretty nice, especially with that mercury glass to add a pop of color. Let me know what you guys think. For For this DIY, I have a canvas frame that I removed the canvas from and put spackling in the staple holes. I've got this cabinet liner that I'm cutting to size for the back of that. Now before I sand the frame, sand some of that spackling down. And then I come through and make sure that that liner is going to fit on the back. But before I attach that, I decide to get my Snow White paint, chalk paint by Waverly, and I do one coat, just one real messy coat, quick coat. Then I used hot glue and attached the cabinet liner to the back and cut off the excess. Aww. Thanks, honey. And that was my husband bringing me a rose from outside when he walked our dogs. Here I am just kind of dry fitting some chicken wire. Now I'm going to grab these craft sticks, and this is just going to be the backing of the cross that I'm doing. And I cut and frayed some burlap ribbon to size and glued that to the craft sticks. I'm going to vacuum my little area here for a second. And I'm pulling out a whole bunch of shells that I intend to put on top of that cross. Now here I got some Timeless Gray by Apple Barrel. And oops, yeah, I had to wipe that back a little bit. That was too much. I go over with a dry brush. I mean, it's kind of medium. Not heavy, but not too light. And I did some on the cabinet liner to kind of darken that up a little bit. And the inside of the frame as well, to get some dimension going with that. I did not do the sides and all of that, because you're not going to even be able to see that. So I dry all that up, and I'm placing the cross on top and checking to see how this wire is going to look. And once I decided I liked it, I wrapped it around the edge of the frame and used a gracious amount of hot glue and took the thick twine rope from Dollar Tree and wrapped the edge of my frame so that I could hide the pokey parts and it wouldn't scratch my wall or poke somebody. I trimmed all of those off after I put the rope. And here I decided to do the outline of the cross with twine from Walmart, just to give my shells something to grip onto and to kind of outline it, just make it look nicer and more finished. And here's where I come through and I strategically place my shells. Those are just oyster shells that are so prevalent on the Gulf Coast. You can find them anywhere. So once I finish the cross, I come back and I'm going to glue some driftwood pieces, my favorite pieces, onto the sides here with that hot glue, wood glue sticks I was telling you about. And now I'm going through with a few more accent shells and placing those where I think they'll look good with some hot glue. I added some beach grass, and yeah, I glued my frame to the table. Now I'm doing a backing with some twine, hot glue, and masking tape. It's like my favorite way to do hangers. It just holds it so well. Here it is. I love this one. It looks really good in my bathroom. I have a coastal themed bathroom. And let me know what you guys think. Put in the comments what you think of this one. Does it remind you of the beach? And do you think you might recreate something like this? Drop a comment, guys. This is a box I made at Easter with some stained craft sticks, like fences. And I'm taking two pieces and going across the top front and the top back of that box. And I got 3 large skewer sticks from the Dollar Tree and stained those, cut them down and stained them with Antique Wax by Waverly. And here I'm drawing a little fish shape on some burlap, and I'm going to wrap twine from Walmart and wrap around the outline of that fish. And I'm going to come through and trim that. After I get him worked out, I'm going to pull it up off of my desk because I glued it there again, and I'm going to trim him out. And I wind up adding a little fin off screen to make him look like a little fish. Now I've got a styrofoam ball I cut in half and put on the back of a starfish and a shell that I had painted white. Made sure that those adhered really well. And after that glue dried and I was sure that that would hold, I applied the skewer sticks to the back of the fish, shell, and starfish with some hot glue and a couple of pieces of masking tape. Just that makes me feel like it's going to hold better. And usually it does. It works for me. Do you guys know of any other methods to attaching things? And here I'm going to go slow because it's a piece of burlap with Mod Podge, and then I covered it with sand, basically making a sheet that I can cut to size and fit into the top of that box, which is what I'm doing now. The burlap sheet it reminds me of like the moss sheets that you can get sometimes at the Dollar Tree. But it makes it so much easier, and it keeps that sand contained. You know what I'm saying? So I can use sand in it without it going all over my house. And here I'm going to take a pokey tool and pre-poke 3 holes for the 3. Yeah, there you go. I put them in there already. I added some greenery, and here it is. This looks so good. It turned out a lot better than I thought. What do you guys think? Thanks for watching my video, guys. Remember to like and share so we can grow the community. And thank you to all of my subscribers. I love you guys.